have roll call.
Mayor Truman.
Here.
Councilmember Colbert.
Here.
Councilmember Wilson.
Here.
Councilmember Reed. Here. Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory. Here. Councilmember Kerstetter. Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Stam.
Present. I'll stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to approval of tonight's agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to approval of the minutes. Can we do these all at once or do them both? Two? Okay. Of the city council minutes for June 30th. Or June 3rd, excuse me.
Motion to approve minutes of the June 3rd, 2025 council meeting as presented.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 3rd, 2025 meeting. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the council minutes of the June 18th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes of the June 18th, 2025 council meeting as presented.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 18th meeting. Any further discussion?
Mayor, do we have to officially approve those since there wasn't a quorum?
The 18th.
Yeah, so just a discussion.
Okay, I just was asking. Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to presentations and proclamations. I don't have any. Okay, moving on to public forum. Is there anyone here that would like to address the council on any item that's not on the agenda? Okay, moving on to appointments. I have 3 appointments to the library board. We have Karen Hunsinger, appointed through April 2027. She's replacing Jean Chevelle, is that right? And Marco Bendez, appointed through April 2029. And Christian Cartwright, appointed through April 2029.
Move to approve the appointments to the library board as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the appointments to the library board. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to old business, PBS Kansas. We had Victor here last week talking about PBS and what they do for Valley Center. I was at a volunteer dinner last week, and they do more for Valley Center than I thought they did. They previewed a couple segments of Valley Center stuff. So we made a motion to approve some funding, but we've got to start that all over again. So you got your information in the budget. It's my opinion that I'd like to see it be more than the $2,700, but it's up to you folks. So
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve $3,000 in funding for PBS this year.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve $3,000 to PBS. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. carried. Moving on to the acceptance of the public dedication from High Point East Estates. Kyle?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this item is coming back before you again after technically 2 meetings ago. You wanted to get some advice or opinion from our city attorney on whether or not the city could accept, or what would happen, I guess, if the city did not accept the right-of-way. I think Barry can speak to his memo that you received. But the plat was approved by Planning and Zoning. This step tonight comes before the council for acceptance of public right-of-ways. So the area there that in the bottom is road right-of-way that the road currently cuts across the corner of this property. And so that right-of-way would give us road right-of-way, clean that up, and then it also would be accepting a 10-foot utility easement along the west side of lots 2, 3, 4, 5, and the south side of 5, and then the west side of lot 1. That just allows for public utility access. So currently we don't serve that neighborhood with water, but if we ever did, we would have easements already in place. And then it also would be in place there for electricity and any communications access. And so again, Barry did submit a memo. If he wants to address that, or if you have questions for him as far as the council accepting or not accepting that. But that is the step that we are at this evening, and staff do recommend acceptance of the dedications.
I have one question. If we don't accept this, if in the future we have to run water, sewer, we have to purchase that land, right? We'll have to purchase that from the homeowners, make the easement,
That's correct.
whereas right now we're being granted that. Okay, thank you. Barry?
I would just add, as I stated last time in my memo, that in addition, if you would refuse these public dedications, you're supposed to state a reason why you are refusing those. So you can't just vote, no, we won't accept because the dedication, the statute requires you to state why in the record you're refusing the dedication, so that there could be some response to correct that. You know, you could easily say, I suppose the road should be in the middle of these lots if you wanted to, but you have to state a reason that you're not accepting. You just can't say no to the proposed public reservations.
Robert?
Thank you, Mayor. I know that in front of us is what we are looking at tonight would be the public dedication, but I really have to voice my concerns over the plot layout. I know the plot layout has already been approved. I know that cannot be changed, but I would really like to see maybe some reconsideration on that plot layout. That lot number 1 is going to be an issue. It is going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue for the current neighbor that is to the east of it. It's going to be an issue of getting in and out of that property from the street if that street does not change from where it is today. It's a dangerous corner coming around there. It's a narrow corner, and I think it's just going to cause issues for that. But I know that's not what's in front of us tonight. So I'll make a motion to accept the public dedication for the High Point East Estates subdivision.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the public dedication from the High Point Estates final plat. Any further discussion? Gina?
Since I am going to vote against this, I will tell you I am voting against this because I represent the constituents in this area, and I know that they are very much against it. So I have to vote no.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, under new business, approval of the Girl Scout project from McKenna Taylor, Troop 421.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. This evening, Ms. McKenna Taylor is going to be giving you a presentation on a project, Girl Scout project, that she's been working on, and she is here with her family, and representatives from the Animal League that the project is going to benefit. So I will step aside and let them talk about that. City staff will be working with them to help install this.
This is McKenna Taylor with Troop number 002. Also my dad, your grandpa. I'm so happy to be here today to propose an idea that will make a positive impact on our community. As a Girl Scout Junior from Troop 40021 in Valley Center, I've been working towards earning the Girl Scout Bronze Award. This award is the highest honor a Girl Scout Junior can achieve. I'm proud to be undertaking this project as a part of my journey. For my Bronze Award project, I've chosen to address the issue of pet owners in our community who struggle to provide basic needs for their pets. To help solve this problem, I propose to the installation of a pet donation box, which I've named Furry Friends Donation Box. This box will serve as a central location where people can donate pet supplies and those in need can access them. It's a simple yet effective way to support our furry friends and the people who care for them. By accepting my proposal, you'll be helping to support local pet owners who are struggling to provide for their pets. Promote a sense of community and compassion among our citizens. Encourage children like me to get involved in making a positive difference. This box will work like the food donation boxes in town where community members can donate anytime. My Girl Scout troop will be having a pet supply donation drive to get us started. I believe that together we can make a real difference in the lives of our furry friends. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I don't have any questions, but very good presentation. It takes some guts to get up. And there's lots of adults that don't like getting up and talking in front of people. But I was talking to Mr. Crossett. I don't think I've ever seen a pet blessing box. I've seen the booked ones and food for people, but this is a pretty neat deal. This is pretty special. You did a good job. Thank you.
Amy?
Hi, McKenna. I have a big heart for animals too, and I've never seen anything like this. I absolutely love it. You said your troop is doing a drive to accept donations. How do we donate? Perfect. Thank you.
Yes,
Great job.
please.
Robert?
Yes, Ms. Taylor, that's absolutely wonderful presentation. You did so well. So many young ladies are going to look up to you for having the power to come up and talk in front of us. I know it's not an easy thing to do, to talk in front of people. So you did a fabulous job, and I wish you well, and I think this is going to do really, really well over there by the dog parks.
Dan?
McKenna, what was your favorite part about this project?
Probably either painting or building.
And what was harder, building it or getting up here and talking tonight? I think I know the answer to that. You did a wonderful job. Thank you for coming tonight.
I make a motion to approve pet blessing box placed by McKenna Taylor for Girl Scout project at the Lions Park Dog Park.
I
Second.
second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the pet blessing box. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. McKenna, thank you very much. We're honored to be putting that in our park.
And if we could do a quick little photo op right here with her, if you don't mind coming up and using a picture. And I'm sure Chris wants one for the paper as well. So the mayor, if you want to come down, if the council members kind of want to gather behind, you can kind of stand if you want to get a few good pictures for her project. So I know the Girl Scouts like doing that. There you go.
McKenna.
Slide it this way.
We have girls that got to use salute furniture for dance. Quick.
Okay, moving on to award the contract for custodial services.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. In your packet, you will find the bid results for the RFP for custodial services for the city facilities, public safety, city hall, community center, and public works. Happy to recommend the low bid of $61,200 to JanPro Cleaning and Disinfecting franchises. For custodial services, the contract would be for a period of 3 years with an option to extend after 3 years, for up to three additional years after the 3-year period. Let's see, the services would begin promptly on July 7th. We've already begun a process of looking into doing background checks since we have received the bids, in hopes that we can hit the ground running after this evening. We do have members from JanPro, Michael Sternberg and Justin Hamilton, who are our representatives back here from JanPro. We've reviewed their contract, and it looked it was a really nice proposal. We've had a chance to sit down and discuss several things that we wanted to flesh out from our old contract to this new one. So we're really excited to move forward with them. There were 4 bids in your packet to see there. And again, these guys were the lowest ones. So stand for any questions you might have, and these guys are here to help answer any questions you might have as well.
Robert?
So this currently replaces a service we already have in place today, correct? So are we gaining any man hours from your staff, or your staff doing any of that, where this would pick up some of that to put man hours back into your team?
Yes, exactly, it will. Currently, under the current contract, we've just been using them, our contractor, for our community center. And my staff had been cleaning the other 3 facilities. So yes, that will definitely help us put some hours back in our parks and buildings side.
Perfect, thank you, Nina.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve 3-year agreement with Jam Pro Cleaning and Disinfecting franchisees for cleaning services at city facilities in an annual amount of $61,620 and authorize mayor, city administrator to sign.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the contract for custodial services. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the approval of change order for number 2 for Harvest Place grading.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Samantha Grieve, and I'll be representing SEH this evening. So what you see in front of you is change order number 2 from East Construction for Harvest Place. This change order incorporates 3 items, one being topsoil, north ditch cut for drainage, and the rec center berm cleanup. With the topsoil, we had additional dirt that needed to be placed somewhere. So the lot that it's being added to is just north of the aquatic center and the tree line there on the west side of Harvest Place. This location actually is a benefit in the long run, as the grade would have had to have been brought up anyway. So in order to bring up the grade, we had to strip the topsoil that had already been placed. As far as the north ditch cut, this is a cut to allow for temporary drainage off of the pipeline area to the north. With all of the recent rainfall that we've had, we identified a small pocket that doesn't drain very well at all. So the pipeline easement owner will not let us fill any more than 5 feet over the pipe. Even though our grading plan was reviewed and approved before originally, they actually stopped us on site. So when these lots get developed in the future, they'll have to develop their own drainage plan. And it shouldn't be far off from what we have right now. I would assume they would put landscaping or paving over this area. And then the berm was city staff requested that we incorporate the cleanup of that berm that was north of the tree line, just north of the aquatic center. So he's picked all of the shrubs and sticks and rocks and spread them. Anything I would like to discuss further?
Robert?
I think this is going to be for Mr. Clark. So how are we going to track those properties that the homeowner is going to end up being the one responsible for the drainage piece?
Actually, it's the commercial.
Oh, it's on the commercial lot. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's not on the residential. Okay, yep, that's right.
Yep,
Okay.
no, it's on the commercial lot.
Okay, I want to make sure we're far to the east. Okay.
Yep, and then also too, we thought that there's going to be the berms were going to maybe have a little less extra material in it from the rec center, and so we're hoping to kind of shape those and make a nice landscape berm. And so when we discovered that that's not necessarily the case, and that now it's a nightmare to try to move with a small dump truck that the city owns, it was just easier to have these and then put it in this contract. Because if you recall, the city portion of this mass grading dirt work is 0. So, we'd rather take care of that at this point rather than dealing with that at a future time. So again, this is thanks in part to Central County, this project, and then also the developers of Harvest Place are covering this mass grading effort.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve change order number 2 for Harvest Place in an amount not to exceed $13,535 and authorize mayor or city administrator to sign.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the change order number 2 for Harvest Place. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to item D, approval of construction agreement for Harvest Place Phase 1.
Okay, so at the bid letting, we received 1 bid. And that was from East Construction. So we worked with the developer on if they wanted to award or rebid. They chose to go ahead and award, and so this is what we're recommending. The total amount is more than what it was originally, as there was a subcontractor that was changed out for paving.
Robert,
Ms. Grove, do you remember what's the difference between what we had with the first subcontract on that paving, the difference?
I would have that information with me.
That was it was roughly $55,000 was the difference. We decided to go with based on staff recommendation and really myself leading that of choosing a different subcontractor that the city has not had positive experience with in the past.
Sounds good.
And then two, on this one, the city is opting to increase the city contribution when it comes to infrastructure and go concrete versus asphalt. Of course, we've been historically on that trend. I'm still going to stand by that for longevity. For the dollar difference, that's not even one mill and overlay for that entire area. That's going to last, 30 plus years before we're over there really doing any panel replacements of much, if that. With asphalt, we're going to be over there in 6 years putting, a sealant over it. We're going to be milling it in another 12 to 15. Historically, Valley Center's trend, we'd be over there probably 20 years. And so it'd be pretty dilapidated by the time we get through our cycle that we have going right now with mill and overlays. And so it's easier just to, expend those dollars now up front, give a better quality product, something that our staff can maintain easier, and the longevity is second to none. So that's why the increase as well.
Motion to approve contract with Mize Construction for Harvest Place Phase 1 in an amount not to exceed $2,631,984.49 and authorize mayor or city administrator to sign.
Second.
a motion and a second for approval of the construction agreement for Harvest Place Phase 1. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to Resolution 785-25, Arbor Valley Phase 2 drainage.
The petitions for Arbor Valley Phase 2 include the remainder of the Arbor Valley development, including 29 more single-family lots, which will complete the subdivision build. The new infrastructure will connect with the first phase for drainage, paving, and water main that was completed previously.
Any questions or comments?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 785-25, authorizing construction and financing drainage improvements for the Arbor Valley Phase 2 subdivision.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 785-25. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to Resolution 786-25, Arbor Valley Phase 2 paving.
So this is the second of the 4 petitions that I just spoke of.
Move to approve Resolution 786-25, authorizing construction and financing paving improvement to the Arbor Valley Phase 2 subdivision.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the Resolution 786-25. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to Resolution 787-25, Arbor Valley Phase 2 water petition.
And this is the third petition.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 787-25, authorizing construction and financing water improvement to the Arbor Valley Phase 2 subdivision.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 787-25. Any further discussion?
Mayor, I do have one. Sorry. I know that we're rolling through this great. Don't want to hear from me. But did want to touch base on this water improvement. This is going to be really critical and nice to connect our loop through Soterra. And so the development that's directly to the west of this, right along that tree row, it shares that tree line. We're connecting and looping our water system and our water mains. And so we already had an easement. That's why it's really important to have these easements and plats. And so that will connect and it will save staff time. You know, right now we have to go out there, we have to flush that hydrant on a regular basis in order to keep the chlorine residuals that we want. And so connecting this will now make that big main that we had that headache down Ford Street, finally connect, loop around, and come back to Soterra. So didn't want to lose sight of that as we were flying through these water improvements. But water quality is really critical and essential, as you've seen in our water quality report that we just released.
Brent, we discussed a while back about water pressure on the east side. Is that loop, does that help with water pressure as well? Or is that something, I mean, I know we're still going to have to address in the future, but
yes,
I assume it can't hurt to have that loop together.
Correct. It won't hurt in the long run. It doesn't do anything with pressure right now, but it sure helps when we do our pressure system and we locate that east pressure zone. Hopefully we build, a beautiful water tower, somewhere in that general area that will then also help with the pressure in that area. But right now we're looking at doing, booster pumps in certain locations. We don't have those yet, but this will help in the regard of it will loop it to make sure that we don't have to then go at the end of that line and have a pressure release valve and those things. So,
thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? Guess we have a motion and a second already. All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the professional service agreement with SEH, Arbor Valley Phase 2.
Yes, so the professional agreement in front of you is an agreement with SEH for design and construction services for Phase 2 of Arbor Valley. We intend to have design completed in about 3 months, putting the project out to bid in the fall.
Motion to accept professional service agreement with SEH for the Arbor Valley Phase 2 development and amount not to exceed $95,100 and authorize mayor or city administrator to sign.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the professional service agreement with Arbor Valley Phase 2. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on, ordinance number 1427-25. Annexation of 30.494 acres.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the first of 2 ordinances requesting annexation this evening. On the screen, you'll see track 1 and track 2 just west, on the northwest side of town, I should say, along interurban. This is being requested by the property owners, and we recommend approval of the first reading of ordinance 1427-25.
Motion for approval of first reading of ordinance 1427-25 to annex approximately 30.494 acres along interurban.
Okay.
Have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 1427-25. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to ordinance 1428-25. Annexation of 30.453 acres along interurban.
This is just the second ordinance because it's the second independent tract of land, and we recommend approval for first reading as well.
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1428-25 to annex approximately 30.453 acres along interurban.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 1428-25. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. Moving on to item K, an executive session for non-elected personnel. We will have two of these, right? Yeah, I think we'll have two of these. First one for about 10 minutes. Just the council for the first one. Okay.
How many minutes?
Move to recess an executive session to discuss an individual employee's performance pursuant to non-elected personnel matter exception KSA 75-4319B1. Included in the executive session are city council and mayor. We will reconvene in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I guess you gotta make a motion in a second. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Council met in executive session for 10 minutes. No official action was taken. At this time, I move that we recess into executive session to discuss an individual employee's performance pursuant to non-elected personnel matter exception KSA 75-4319B1. Included in the session will be council, mayor, and city administrator. We will reconvene in 10 minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go into executive session for 10 minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Ron's over here. So he voted yes. No. Give us another 10 minutes.
Council and city administrator met. No official action was taken. At this time, I would like to move to raise the city administrator's pay by 7.5% and add 1 year to his contract.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to increase city manager's wages 7.5% and extend his contract to 1 more year, which would make it 28-29. Right? Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to the Valley Center 2026 budget, first draft.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This was presented to you last meeting, but of course, with not having a quorum, and Clint is gone actually at a conference for GFOA in DC. So he's been checking in and learning a lot of amazing things to bring back to Valley Center, with hopefully one of those being a new processing system. So we have some exciting news coming up that's a little bit more cost effective. So really, I was just going to answer any questions that you might have had from the last presentation. For the council members that weren't here, I'm sure that you read through what Clint had presented. And here is kind of the highlights again. We had, historic valuation increase that we got from the county. And so went up 15.172%. Unfortunately, I believe we were second highest. I can't believe it. Second highest. We're so close. Second highest in the county. Bel Air got us just a little bit by just a skosh. Like they were 15.3 or 4 or something like that. So we have a challenge to see who's going to win next year in their total valuation increase. So that for FY26 valuation estimate is going to be $87,761,650, which is fantastic. And the nice thing about that, which I'm not sure if Clint highlighted last time or not, only a small percentage of that, as you see here, the $4.2 million is new construction. And so next year, remember that's really as of August, 15th of the year prior. And so if you think about it, where we sit now today in 2025, starting August 15th of 2024, and now to current date today, I mean, Kyle's office has just been slammed. I mean, they have been processing payments and doing permits probably at a record pace, that at least in the last 6 years that I know that I can speak for since I've been here. And I know in the last 20 years, probably, if that. So his team, are second to none with a small department. Kyle does an incredible job with processing all those new construction permits. So I see that number being substantially higher in the new construction. And then, of course, the county takes care of the valuation increase. It's based upon market rate. There's a wonderful presentation that we received from the county appraiser. If you're able to make that SCAC meeting that we hosted here in Valley Center a few months back. And so, as you see here, with all that total assessed valuation and increase, the revenue neutral rate would have been at 47.592 mils. And of course, with the increase in total expenditures, I'm sure Clint ran through all this, so I'll just kind of hit the highlights. It's when you look at it, it's primarily staff, it's wages and benefits. Our staff are the largest expense that we do have, and we have an incredible staff across the board. As you've seen during the storm cleanup, 2 weeks ago, we just wrapped up Neil's crew and the streets department and Rodney's. They just wrapped up yesterday, or actually today. Sorry, today was the final actual limb pickup around some of the areas. And so our employees earn it. They work extremely hard and they're dedicated to Valley Center. And so we're, making sure that they are keeping up with the market rate as well when it comes to wages. But overall, if you look at the budget, that's really what we have as far as our increases. I'm still going through everything. We're still looking at being able to provide, an opportunity, if the mayor and council so choose, of a mill levy reduction, which you all tasked us with last year. We heard it loud and proud, and so we challenged all of our department heads with coming up with, cost-saving measures, if not trying to really hold their budgets where they're at. We've been able to get an exceptional return on our investments, on our idle funds. With switching over and making some of those financial decisions that we did, we're able to look at that 1.2 mil proposed decrease for the taxpayers. And so it's hopefully going to have some impact as we move forward into 2026. Any big questions? Of course, the mill levy comparison. We went up a little bit there in 2016, 17. We've been able to really kind of move and reallocate the mill levy in certain areas and still keep that lower than the 2016, 17 years. Especially, a big win when we got that valuation increase was soon what you'll hear from the library, and able to, still increase their total dollars, but decrease their levy, which is great. And I know Janice, we had great meetings and discussions on how to work together and try to, keep the levy as effective and efficient as possible. But, here you can see the valuation increase. So since 2019, it's gone from 50.8 to 87.7. Again, thinking about the construction alone from last August to current, if you look at Sunflower Valley, that project alone is estimated $18 million when that's fully built out. That doesn't include all the other chicken coops, multifamily. Don't want to call them that. And also all the single family housing too, and those valuation increases from.
Yeah, I've got one question. Is the citizens of Robinson have
Yes, absolutely. That's what the public hearing for, as well as opportunity like this evening, last meeting as well. Those are always opportunities for the public to be heard. And of course, our employees are always available. You can call me 24/7. Some do, some don't.
Would it be available to do a budget survey? Let the community do that.
Can you elaborate more, Councilman? What are you asking for?
What I'm asking for is the chance of the citizen being able to voice their opinion by a survey, a budget survey. Because I'm watching the counties surprising answers that they're in regards to other things. I think changes. And in order to do that, let's get see if they are willing to give us.
And have you heard from your constituents?
I've only heard from two, so.
So they don't want to decrease. Okay. Have they reached out or had anything formal? Or Sedgwick County Finance Department have quite a few more folks than our two, and so those surveys are great. Don't get me wrong, they're fantastic, and we can absolutely put together a quick survey. It probably won't go into the great detail that some of those do. So in larger communities, they have software. They spend $10,000 to $12,000 to $20,000 a year in some of those systems that they use to send out those surveys. We can do a Survey Monkey or go through our Microsoft quick surveys that we do, but it doesn't get into quite the detail like a ClearGov or some of those specialized budget softwares. And so we don't have a budget software that we use. We use Excel sheets. Our staff then puts it into a PowerPoint, and then we do present that to you. And so if that's something that we want to explore and budget something for some of those interactive features, we definitely can. I will tell you, I mean, any more nowadays, I mean, this could be $10,000 and with the setup fee and all those things. So it's something that we will have to budget for if the council wants to explore that. Absolutely can. If you're comfortable with just kind of coming up with a quick, 5 or 10 question survey, we can definitely do that. That is doable. You just gotta let us know what questions you would like to ask.
When is speak up about the budget? They have to come to the meeting and say something on the public meeting. But I don't think that works for them. I'm just asking, told them I would ask.
No, it's, yeah. That is,
Well, there
we go.
here.
Just like there's a module for agendas that I know Chris you would love, but we keep the budget very tight on those. As Kyle's learned during his website navigation of how tight we do hold the purse strings on these things. And so here are the next steps. We did pass and approve the budget calendar. That was published. That was in our agenda packet. The public can look at that. They know those dates. Like this one is also in the council packet for next steps, what those meetings look like. They do get notified now with the change of state statute when it comes to revenue neutral hearings. I know that has been a topic of discussion, of course, not only here, but across the entire state. And so, here is the process. September 2nd would be, the public hearing of the budget if they want to come. If they want to be involved in the process, if the council in the future wants to set up a budget committee, a steering committee like we've done on public power or the rec center or those things, I mean, the council, we can absolutely set up a budget committee. We would just have to try to figure out timeline, how it fits with everything. Or Clint, put together this budget. We received these numbers from the county on a Thursday, and he had to have this done, even before then. And so, we don't get that information from the county in a timely manner either. So if this is something you want to look at, like the city of Wichita, they have their budget meetings and discussions earlier in the year. And again, though, those departments have a larger number of staff that could focus on that side of things. In the 6 years now that I'm coming up on, we've really, I think last year was the year that we've had maybe somebody from the public really involved in the budget. That individual came to a few of the meetings and spoke up, which was great. That was another one that challenged for a decrease, and the council listened to it and heard. And you made a decision last year as a governing body, to keep the recommendation of the staff and not do the minor, I think it was $0.25 decrease at that time. And so, I feel the public is able to engage. We broadcast this live on YouTube. Channel 7 isn't working because Cox issue right now. And so, if they ever have a concern or anything, there's an opportunity to go through the website as well. They can send in text messages through the text.my.gov. And so there's a few different opportunities as well.
Ben?
Brent touched on several things, but to respond to Councilmember Colbert's, we're just too small of a community to create a survey to send out. The cost to create it, the cost to digest that information and put it in a form that we can get it. I think our constituents have enough opportunity between contacting us, coming to the meetings. If there's something that's that important to them, they need to do a little legwork as well. And there's there's plenty of opportunities. I just think the cost for our size of community does not justify. We've done community surveys for different things, but for the budget, it's not something we bring forward and pass in one night. It's put online, it's put in the paper. I think there's plenty of opportunities for them to come speak or to call us or email us or Brent. whoever they need to talk to. So that's my 2 cents on that. I think we do our due diligence on putting the information out there and having open discussions on it. So I'm not interested in us putting together a survey on the budget itself.
Well, Councilman Anderson took my 2 cents. But on the 2 surveys we've done, like for the comp plan and for the rec center, how many people actually responded to those percentage wise? I mean, it wasn't very much, was it?
Five, 500 or so on the yeah. Well, no, the rec center was by far our biggest, but that also was, I mean, but the rec center though was during COVID. For one, everybody was home. But for 2, that was district wide, and so we had a lot larger of an email cast to where we had I think 2,300 or 2,400 responses for that. Yeah, and the comp plan was district wide. Yeah, that's right. Yep, because and so when we sent out the handwritten survey, it was right before I got here. I mean, we had 464 responses on that. We have our regular active, constituents and residents that do call and ask questions, and that's on a weekly basis. And so they'll fill out the survey, but and you don't know until you try though too. I'm not saying that we can't. Right now in the end of, it's July 1st. Now in July, if you look at where we're at as far as the steps go. If that is something that the council wants, I would encourage us to look in the, FY27. You'll look next year. We can be better prepared with more of a sample survey that we can send out, and then we can input our numbers as we get them. Because, we did just get our numbers, the end of June for this. And so that would give the public maybe a week to turn around and answer any questions, because of course, our first run through it earlier in the year is all based on estimates. It's all just forecasting. We were hoping for a 8 or 9% valuation increase. We got 15, and so it's hard to communicate, and you don't want to communicate too early to the public, and then you turn around and you get that increase, and then you're able to decrease versus increase the levy because of that large swing, and so. In that regard too, but we do have Power BI. We do have some good Microsoft products that we might be able to put something together, but probably focus on for next year. So it gives our finance department and all of us an opportunity to better prepare ourselves if that would work for you, Councilmember Colbert.
Any questions? Thank you.
Yep.
Moving on to the consent agenda.
Motion to accept consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on to staff reports. Tom?
Just wanted to let you all know that we do have our farmers market this Thursday. We are inviting current military personnel and veterans and first responders, and there'll be a brief recognition for them at 6:30, thanking them for their service to the country and the community. And then one of our staff members is part of the Grassroots Trio, and they will be performing that evening. Bill Andrews, our combination inspector, will be part of the trio performing that evening.
Questions? Thank you, Tom. Neil?
Evening again, Council. Just to elaborate a little bit more on what Brett was talking about with regard to the lemon brush cleanup, that was quite an undertaking. I really wanted to give a shout out to the staff that worked on this. It's been a lot of hours. It was a lot of hard work. They did a great job cleaning that stuff up, and we're really proud of them for the efforts that they did. Let's see, we did just finish up yesterday. We spent 9 days to get to kind of substantial completion. And what that means is we made two full sweeps through the town essentially. And then the last couple of days we've spent just, odds and ends, finding places we might have missed or, a new pile might have been set out kind of late. So we were trying to get those taken care of as well as in those last 2 days going through our parks and cleaning up the low hanging fruit type stuff that was out there. We will have to at some point in time, we're going to lift and go through and get some trees cleaned up that are the high trimming stuff that we couldn't obviously don't have the equipment for, didn't have the time to get to at this time. But it was an exciting challenge. And again, just a good shout out to the staff that worked really hard to get those things. Dan, for any questions? Thank you.
Boyd's not here. Rodney.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I've missed a few council meetings. Councilperson Reed, I've had a chance to meet you outside of a meeting, but once again, it's nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. I just want to start out thanking Neil. I had to leave on a family emergency during that, and it's my understanding he did a phenomenal job. Thank you very much. We had some events. We had a flood. We had a windstorm. And then we had some exciting things going on. Hey, Meridian's open. Meridian's open. The roundabout's open. People are traveling through town, north and south. Got a great sign down there in the roundabout. Looks very, very nice. We just had a groundbreaking ceremony. We're going to get started on that water treatment plant. Another very, very exciting project. We're moving forward on the Seneca project out here. They're building an elementary school. Things are not sitting still in town. So just wanted to bring those forth, and thank you very much for your confidence in our staff.
Janice.
Well, this is a first for me.
I was going to say this. Welcome.
Well, I've had some conversations with Ben just in general about things that are going on in the community building that tie to us and the tying us into the city and so forth. And I have been sending the financials every quarter for a while. And Ben thought, we're all so oriented with figures now. So he suggested I start sending you our statistics. And so that is our financial. But if you keep going down, the statistics we do every month for our board meetings, and the one that you have is actually the numbers through the end of May. And so I'll just send these out once a month in the packet, probably for the second meeting, because like I said, they're for our board meetings. So, and if you have any questions ever, let us know. But Terry keeps super stats, excellent figures on what's going on for us. So, anything else? Any questions?
Questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ed? Barry?
Just have a report on the litigation with Ms. Michelle. Last Thursday, case was set to go for the trial and hearing, and that did occur. And kind of surprised that within a day of that hearing, Judge Smith filed his report granting the city judgment against Ms. Michelle in connection with that claim. And basically, that litigation is concluded unless she would file something such as a motion for reconsideration or a notice of appeal. She has to file that by July 29th because her 30th day falls on a Sunday. She gets another day to file an appeal. So by July 29th, if nothing has been filed, that litigation should be completed and behind us. There's nothing that I can see that would suggest to me that she's going to file a motion for reconsideration, but you don't know, and I don't expect that to happen. I think the court ruled and the court saw once he got into the evidence that, in fact, we gave Ms. Michelle and the other landowners notice of our interest in acquiring water rights long before that matter ever came before the Valley Center Planning Commission or City Council. The record shows that at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. I believe it's been sometime, probably September or July. I don't recall exactly when, but when this first started in 23, when we were looking at annexing that property with the permission of landowners at their request. At that hearing before the council, it was specifically mentioned by staff, by Brent, that Valley Center was in fact interested in acquiring water rights. And he said that in connection with these two properties too. So this is not something that was out of the blue or didn't arrive until, it was brought forward in the Valley Center hearing at Planning Commission meeting before the city council at a later time. That's been something that's been out there literally since long before it got to the city's consideration. So that was, I think, a key factor in the judge's ruling, is that in fact she had been provided notice of this very keen interest that could develop. So they had all types of ways and means and time to prepare for that possibility and make argument against it. And they did that over at least 4 hearings, I think, before the Planning Commission and the council. So again, I believe that litigation is behind us. Chet Compton did an excellent job. I'm surprised that he didn't win the case on what we call summary judgment, but the court had some reluctance at that time in the ruling, and I think it's just because he didn't realize how strong the case law is that supports the city's actions in this area. So again, I'm not surprised by the outcome. I'm just surprised it took a while to get there. So if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them, but otherwise I think this litigation is concluded.
Thank you, Barry. It's not here, so Christie. Mr. Clark.
Well, Ronnie took about, all my thunder. I'm mentioning all the fun projects we have, but that's right. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for your vote of confidence in not only the increase in wages, which my family and I appreciate, but also your vote of confidence in extending a contract for another year, which is the rolling 4 that we've been going down these. I can't believe I'm going to say it. Now, 6 years as your city administrator. We have accomplished so much together, and I can't even begin to dream of all the new beginnings and the horizons that we have for us. This evening with the water treatment plant was something that I know the community had talked about for, I don't even know how many years. Ben and Jet, some of you guys that have been here for a while can maybe speak of that, but I know almost every month since I've been here, the 6 years, I get a complaint on how high our water bills are and how high their monthly water bill is from residents in our community and our customers that we serve. And so, that's a big feather in all your caps that have been along for the ride for the last 6 years. I know that's something that I focused on. We had a lot of city staff over the years focusing on that same endeavor. Rodney, Neil, people, Christy, everyone that's been here for all the years have been working towards that goal, especially of a water treatment plant. And so, like I said, during the groundbreaking, without that funding from the state, from KDHE and the revolving loan fund, there's no way that we'd be able to afford that additional $20 million debt on our utility side. This past year we opened a rec center. That was something that kind of came out of the blue. Back in 2020, if you recall all the way back to 2020 when the kids were, chained to the fence, when we closed the pool during COVID and then formed a committee, and that was a wild ride. We've gone through 7 subdivisions, major road infrastructure projects. We have yet to pay full price for any road project in these 6 years. We've always partnered either with KDOT, with the county, with developers, with anybody that would help us fund these things, because we can't, as a small community, afford all these projects alone. There's no way that our debt mill levy could handle that. And so, being creative in the way we do projects, because we have been doing a ton of projects these past 6 years. And that's something of why this job interested me all those years ago. It's something that I'm sure some of you in my interview remember. I said, if you want to do projects, then I'm your person. If you don't want to do projects, there's nothing wrong with that, but please don't hire me, because I do like to have a lot of things going on at the same time. And, through all the different changes and staff and, just really appreciate everything that the mayor and council have supported me, Mayor Truman, to Mayor Cicerello, to Mayor Dove before that. And, I can't begin to thank the staff enough. It's easy for me to stand up here and take the kudos, but without the staff, all of our employees from the bottom up, working, day and night sometimes to get the job done, just like they did with the storm, working on their holiday that they had planned to be off for Juneteenth, and coming in and working, for half a day in the blistering hot, humid, random, heat wave that we got, and then cold again, and this lovely transition climate that we live in, that our employees go out to work every day. Can't thank you all enough for all your support over the years as well. And looking forward to another 4 and more after that. Still have a lot of kids to graduate through the Valley Center School District. And I bleed purple and gold, which I thought I would never say as a Packers fan. But I'm sure I painted a lot of those Hornets on driveways too. So my family loves Valley Center. We're proud to call Valley Center home, and can't wait to discover all the new opportunities still yet in front of us. So thank you all, and I'll stay in for any questions.
Brent, I'm still waiting for that other Hornet.
Oh, God, I know. I'm sorry. You're first on my list. You're first on my list. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to staff reports. Council reports. I just got to thank our employees, our Parks Department, and our road and street guys out moving in Williams in the heat. I cut a couple of trees down in the heat. I didn't pity them at all. And those guys were great. Everybody that had contact with them, talked to them, they were positive, they were friendly, they were upbeat, and I didn't hear one complaint. Just a lot of kudos. So I thank my staff for that. These guys, they did a good job of me telling them that. I tried to tell them that every time I saw them picking them limbs up somewhere. So other than that, I'm looking forward to that water treatment plant. That's a good positive addition to Valley Center. It's kind of a funny turnaround since I was the one that sold our soul to Wichita 25 years ago. At that time, it was a good deal, or we wouldn't have water. We wouldn't have half the development we have right now, because our future plans, no water. So at the time, it was a good deal. It's we still got water. So I hope we can get it cheaper in a couple of years. That's all I have. I just thank the staff we've got. We've got a good staff and good leadership. We renewed a contract to a good man. So that's all I have. Ron?
Thank you. Stephen Rich, these 4 gentlemen have really did their due diligence getting the trucks in the area, trees picking up and all. The community was very happy, especially on South. I had one of them 5 days in a row. Shut up. Relax. They took care of it. Like the kid who's with the department. I got three other things here, and I'm gonna be real quick about this. Because I'm sure that everybody's got a copy of this. Stagnant runoff water concern. Mr. Clements sent me a letter. I'm gonna give this to him. He's calling all the water on this side. Stagnant. I don't see how that's supposed to be right now. It used to be, but not now. The other thing was Rhonda Clark and Larry Clark sent a letter. You guys got this one also, I hope. I appreciate the city council consider reducing the city mill levy due to the high valuation of property in the city, including our property. We'd like the city council to consider more elements that fall under the budget and apply the amount for several years in fixing more of the streets and roads here in Madison. Plus, the other things that go on that. And then I got a line. A while back, we were told that the new swell was just north of the north side of my property. Well, I couldn't find the address. We have anybody.
I know that there was, of course, during the torrential downpour, and I mean, when we had above average rainfall, I mean, there was standing water. One of the big issues over there, with that field just being tilled too, I mean, there was nowhere for that. I mean, that water was not going to be absorbed in that ground. And, we need to work a little stronger with the farmer on how they till, because that directly then affects how the whole thing is graded and where water flows as well. I do believe that we did respond to the gentleman had sent that question through the website underneath the report of concern, which I encourage all the citizens, whenever you have concerns, send them through the website, go straight to whatever department needs to address that. And then we did respond to those homeowners as well. As far as standing water currently, I'm not sure. I haven't checked as of late, but I know that SCH, the engineering firm, did submit a response to that homeowner that had that issue and concern with that, with the new drainage swale and how that grading on the north side of Northwind Drive did take place. I do believe that we did respond adequately.
Robert?
Mayor, it's already been said by about 4 or 5 other folks, but I commend all the city staff and the hours that were put in during the torrential rainfalls that we were getting, and of course the 100-mile-an-hour winds that just destroyed the city. So I commend you. I know I caught Neil out the first night, stopped and visited with him and his staff that were on the street in Quadrant 1. So I thank you all very much for doing what you did and putting in the time and hours. So thank you very much on that. Janice, welcome. I'm happy to see you here and make those reports. That's going to be good to hear. So thank you for being here. That's all I have, Mayor.
Amy?
Nothing. Thank you.
Dan?
I'm going to echo the thanks to the city crews and touch on something that we kind of forget, that the government is a service industry, and we take tax dollars and provide services for our community. And that the limb pickup was a huge thing. I was out of town when it happened, so I got to witness a lot of the complaining on Facebook. And then a lot of that complaining turned into thanks. It's hard to be patient, but with the size of our staff, I think they did an excellent job. And I've seen a lot of tunes changed after cleanup. It just takes a while, and thank you to everyone involved. So that's all.
Tina?
I'm just going to remind you that I believe the SCAC meeting will be July 12th. I haven't seen the details yet. I think it's going to be in Derby, but keep the date available.
Chris?
I just wanted to echo what everybody else is saying and say thank you for all that you do. I was told by several folks that they really appreciated it. So thank you.
We echo what everyone else has said, but we can't forget about the ladies that sat up front at Public Works and City Hall and took phone calls from people because they're the front line. They're the people that take the abuse and then it gets passed on. So they deserve kudos also. Then also, I want to just a quick story. When we hired Brent, I was on the council and we interviewed 3 people. 2 of them come in and sat in the corner by themselves, and Brent walked in and I didn't know any of them. And Brent's walking around shaking hands with everyone and shook hands with the people he was going up against for a job. And I knew right away that's what Valley Center needs. They need a go-getter, not someone who's going to go sit in the corner and just collect a paycheck. So thank you for that. And then also, I'm going to, in listening to Ron's thing about budget, I'm going to go to the Hive on the second Tuesday of July and August and sit there for an hour. If someone's got a complaint of anything, come talk to me. I will be there from 7 to 8. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify for raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Being adjourned. Wow.